conversation. You mentioned Tulsa. Conference tournament scheduled out this year. I guess everything's starting to move back into the rotation and all. Not going to Memphis, not going to New Orleans, to Tulane. Actually going to Tulsa, which is pretty much a central spot for everybody. I mean, it doesn't sound like it, but Oklahoma is easy for all the teams to kind of like get in that spot. I mean, even though the city is spread out as far as living conditions, but getting to campus of Tulsa, University of Tulsa, it seems to be pretty much easy for everybody to handle and deal with because of the arena size, and they accommodate everybody pretty well in Oklahoma.
I would totally concur with all that. I think it is a very travelers friendly, easy access city to get in and out of. Obviously for us, Southwest, airlines, it's easy for most everybody coming from all parts of Conference USA. So it's a at least the last 2 years I've been back to the University of Houston and back into the league here. Everything's gone out for bid, and so that UTEP did a great job in 2 years ago. Memphis did an outstanding job a year ago, and Tulsa did. I think it was 4 years ago. They hosted the men's and women's there as well, and it was a tremendous success. So, when success is there, they got another opportunity. And the big picture is that our university presidents, as well as our athletic directors, senior women's administrators, and all of our Conference USA affiliates want to, they want to have a men's and women's tournament together. It makes it much easier on our fans. Makes it much easier on traveling for other parts of like the bands and the cheerleaders, not having to split things up. So, and obviously it boils down to in some way it comes down to finances. Sometimes it's more economical, certainly, and it's smarter to do it that way. And I think it's much to our advantage to do that, in the fact of having a fan base there to come watch us play at all of our games.
Staying with that topic, Conference USA has been it's been really good to you, but it's also been the downside. So I guess what I'm asking is, your last year going out,
Mm-hmm.
you want to leave your mark before you leave. Is that the approach?
No question. I've said it to other media members. I've said it to our staff, our players on Sunday at our first team meeting. I don't hide anything. Maybe that's sometimes a fault of mine, but I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna hide. We're gonna be contenders here. That's always gonna be our mindset, and we're gonna meet the challenge, and we're gonna try to do everything within our all of our abilities to play for championships. We're building champions here, one individual at a time, one kid at a time, academically and athletically. So I made no mistake about it. When I sent the message that I want to go out in Conference USA this year, and I want to play for another championship, and that is certainly our goal, and it will continue to be our goal.
Staying with that mindset, scheduling. One of those, in Conference USA, it's a lot easier to set the schedule, but it's also harder because of the amount of conference games that you play compared to where you'll be headed to in the Big East, where you have a larger number of teams and regular season games that you don't have to worry about, where you are just travel. Let's talk about that part of what can you accomplish and what you can accomplish as far versus Conference USA non-conference and Big East non-conference.
I think to start with this, to get the first part of your question answered, it definitely is two different entities, and I don't want to, I'm not going to try to compare or contrast the two, other than I think with being here in Houston, many schools, teams want to come to Houston. It's very friendly as well, and obviously for recruiting purposes. I mean, there's no hidden agenda there. Everybody comes to Houston or comes to Texas to recruit. We have obviously the greatest wealth of talent, across the entire country. So, with that being said, we're going to play 16 conference games in Conference USA. As of right now, the slate's set. Moving forward to the Big East, we'll play a minimum of 18 is what's on the docket right now. So, there's an offset of 2. But, the one difference, I think the biggest difference in moving forward is that, 2 years ago, we were 26-6, went 16-0 in conference play, and we're an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament, which I felt like we were probably, in all fairness, I thought we should have been more of between a 5 and a 7. But we did what we could do. I mean, we won some really big games, and against the Louisvilles, the Nebraskas, the Louisiana Techs. We played some people, and so with having changed mindset, it's the same scenario this year. November the 9th, we'll open up, at Mississippi State. We'll come right back here on November the 13th, and we'll have our home opener against the University of Alabama. We'll have our Thanksgiving tournament that will host Southeast Missouri State, Northwest Louisiana, and the University of Texas Pan American. I think that will be a very good challenge for us, and obviously during the holidays, I want to be as close to home as we possibly can be. Moving forward, we'll come back November the 30th. We'll host New Mexico here. Then we'll travel on December the 2nd, and we'll go to Fort Worth and play TCU. We'll come, the following weekend we'll have Creighton here, which will be December the 8th. And then we'll obviously take a pretty lengthy break, 10 to 12 days, so we can get into the books and have finals week and finish that off. And then right before Christmas, December 22nd, we'll host Texas State. We'll go home for a few days, come back, and then we'll be geared up, and we'll go to Lubbock on December the 30th and play at Texas Tech. So what I feel like we have to do here is we have to play we have to play the best of the best. We have to play, the Big 12s, the SECs, the Mountain, the Mountain West. We have to play the high-profile teams as we did 2 years ago, and quite frankly, we did last year, to have a chance, to get in that large bid. To where the biggest difference is moving forward and going towards the Big East is, I feel like that's automatically built into your schedule without saying. And I think without question, it's also a proven basically number that if you get into the Big East and you finish anywhere 500 or above, for the most part, you pretty much know that you're going to go to the NCAA tournament every year. And so I think that's the biggest challenge and the biggest difference in the two, and that's really the only part that I would even dare, try to compare and contrast. And to be honest, as a coach, that's the only two things I really have to worry about.